Hi there again. Okay, so the question is, to what extent can freedom go? That's where I stopped last. So to my mind, to what extent can freedom go? So now that I've hopefully laid down what we all have got to do, deep down on the inside, to fulfill the purpose of living, but how far can freedom go? Well, the answer to my mind that I realized at the time is that freedom can go as far as I am free to do whatever I want, as long as it relates to myself or my property. It's really that much. It's really that simple. I realize that deep down, I can do whatever I love. I have the right, the inherent God-given right to do whatever I love with myself, with yeah, with myself on my own property. It's really just that much. So yeah, if we take that basic ideological route all the way up to the way the government functions and the policy functions, we would, we'd easily get all the basic policy ideas that a government's got to be doing. And so, yeah, so here's the philosophical thing behind it, which I realized over time. It was like, so I'm free to do whatever I like with myself or my property. Why? Deep down, I know that what I want to do, I've got dreams, I've got desires, and deep down when I think true peace and bliss, what is it that I know I should be doing deep down? And that answer to that question, when I ask myself, I'll get a reply. And if I want to pursue that, it will always be within the limit of doing something with myself or my property. Like, you would never be in absolute peace, bliss, and happiness. Deep down, you would never know that, hey, deep down, I would get peace in enslaving the other person. No, the answer is always going to be something that you ought to do with yourself or your own property. It's always going to be within that limit. Thus, if we want to ensure that a person is in absolute contentment or self-actualization, as I said, in following our desires and our dreams, and self-actualizing by actually doing that, it is always going to be within the limits of something that they wish to do with themselves or their own properties. And that's basically the level of freedom that we should simply get or aim for or aim to get. Because so in an ideal society, in a just society, in a fair society, the freedom, every individual is going to be guaranteed the freedom, the inherent God-given right to do whatever they wish with themselves or their own property. I can do whatever I wish with this. It is something I own. So I can do whatever I wish with it. So that being said, so it is about individual freedom. I mean, families don't have dreams and desires or whatever. It's not families that have that. It's always an individual that's got those dreams and those desires or whatever. So if we want an individual to self-actualize and an individual to be in peace and bliss and happiness, the individual's got to follow his heart. And in the individual's heart, it's always going to be something that the individual would want to do with himself or with something he owns. That's all that we got to protect, simply. So that is the philosophy of freedom, basically, the level. And if we take this basic ideological route all the way up to the government level, we would understand every single thing. Economic freedom. So the different types of freedom that I told you. So in my mind, I figured out there are three of them, basically. There's political, there's economic, and there's social, this personal freedom. So political is obviously the right to present oneself, to be elected into office, to get into elections, to form parties, and to present oneself to the public, to be able to contest, to give their own ideas and to give themselves a chance to present themselves to the public, so the public can elect them and be like, okay, take charge, rule, create the rules that you like. That is political freedom, being able to participate in democracy, but not only having the power to vote, but also having the power to enter politics, form parties, give the public a chance to elect them, and they're able to become the rulers themselves. It's not only the power to vote and to be the participants as voters, but also being able to become a person who can be in power as such. So that is political freedom. Then there's economic freedom, which is again being able to purchase what one wants from whomever one wants and whenever one wants, that becomes a part of trade freedom as well. So economic freedom, stuff like trade freedom, being able to trade with whomever we like, no matter who, wherever they are, and purchasing whatever we like from whomever, wherever they are across the globe and whenever we want, that's trade freedom. Or business freedom, conducting business with less bureaucracy, without corruption, and selling whatever goods we like to whomever we want. So within business freedom comes freedom from stuff like minimum wages and stuff, because when there's a business and then you've got the customer, well, who is the government to set the terms of the contract and say you have to pay this much to them? It's none of the government's freedom. The business has a right to choose whatever they want to sell, and the customer has the right to choose whether they want to take it or not. The government, it's none of the government's job. All the government doesn't have the right to tell them, hey, you have to pay them at least this much. That's infringing upon the rights of the business. So that's economic freedom, stuff like that. All the freedom to discriminate, like people say, you can't discriminate, like you can't, like there's this law which was passed in, I think in Mississippi in the US, where it's like it gave the law permitted businesses to discriminate against homosexuals. Now I've got nothing against homosexuals, but to be honest, I would agree with that law not because although it was created with like a fundamentalist mindset to discriminate against homosexuals, but to be very honest, a business has the right to choose whom they want to serve and whom they're not. So regardless of whomever they choose to discriminate, that is business freedom. Because a business is run by a private individual and they have every right to choose what they want to do and whomever they want to serve or they don't want to serve. It's really that simple. They don't want to serve you, I'm sorry, but it's their right. They are the business owners. They can choose what they want to do with their own property. Again, so everything, and personal freedom, of course, the freedom to speak our minds and stuff like that, to speak our minds, to do whatever we like, draw whatever we like, to paint whatever we like. All of it goes back to the simple ideological root of, this basic ideological root of a person is free to do whatever they like with themselves or their property. It all goes down to this. And if we take the simple ideological root all the way to the government, to the policy level, everything really clears itself out. And we always hear the government doing so much. The government's doing this. It's creating a gold policy or metal. And India is it's got such shit, notions about pretty much everything. So even about government, what the government's got to be doing, there's all this notion and hype about the government setting gold policy and steel policy and export policy and this and that. To be very honest, the government is simply got to protect the rights and liberties of people. All the government's got to do is to ensure is that the judiciary functions and the police functions and the defense is in place. And at times a bit of infrastructure. That's all. That's all. Instead, the government is crushing on our rights by preventing us from purchasing what we like and not allowing us to speak our minds and whatnot. And we're like, good job, government. You're doing so much work. They're not doing what they should be doing. And they're doing everything else which they have no right to do. So yeah, that is about how I discovered freedom. Perhaps I've explained that in the previous video, and how I came to the philosophy of freedom. Hopefully I've given you a bit of idea about that. And yeah, this is the basic root that is also provided in the United States Constitution, which was formed in 1778, I think. Yeah, 1778. And I was once watching a documentary which was discussing about how the United States came to the point of declaring independence. Apparently, their trading rights were taken away by the British, and they did not have the right to trade. They did not. Their democracies were dissolved, and they started to be directly ruled by the British and stuff like that. Taxes were imposed on them, pretty tough taxes and all that. Despite the fact that the United States probably had one of the best quality of living at that time in 1778, India just was starting to come under British rule. So, and there's this beautiful line that was spoken there by the United States Constitution, and hopefully I try and end this video with that to just give you some food for thought and understand about how that goes. So the text that was actually written was, okay, so here's the first line of the United States Declaration of Independence, which was on the 4th of July, 1776. The line goes as, so I quote, "When in course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature," I repeat, the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. I know it sounds like it's pretty complicated stuff, but when you just focus on the second line, it says, "The laws of nature's and of nature's God entitle them." This is exactly what I was kind of getting to. When I discovered my own freedom and the whole philosophy of freedom, I discovered that I had the right to do whatever I want with myself and my property. That is the law of nature, and that is what nature's God entitles us all to. I start quoting again. "A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation." So here, so this was primarily drafted by Thomas Jefferson and John Adams. So they're starting to talk about what forced them to start pursuing that separation as such. Now here's the important line. This is the second sentence of the Declaration, which is pretty important. So, "We hold these truths to be self-evident," so the truths of the philosophy of freedom, they hold them to be self-evident, "that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Okay, so this got stuck, I think.